Ciao, amicis, and welcome to another episode of Horror Italiano, where we, Ricky and Joe, take you on a tour through Italian horror cinema. And this is a bonkers one for you guys tonight. Ricky, you ready to talk Burial Ground?
This has the three things I love most in movies: hot chicks, gore, and zombies. Let's do it, brother. I'm ready. The Beer Brothers assemble.
Salute.
Salute. I'm gonna have a good time with this one, brother.
Cover her face with the mask of Satan. Horror Italia. Burial ground.
This is I want to talk about these people first though before the movie because some of these people, yeah, this was a little bit more different on here. We have the professor, Professor Ayer. We see him all of a sudden go, "That's it," and he goes down these catacombs. And I would love to see those catacombs. By the way,
Incredible.
it's on my list, but after seeing this, I'm not sure if I'll do it. But he goes down there and he raises the dead. But right before he does all that, he invited some friends over. And this was a very interesting group of people to invite over to your house. That's all I gotta say. I don't think I quite have a group of people that are like Mark, James, Leslie, George, Evelyn,
Janet.
Janet, and especially Michael. I mean, what did you think of these guests? Because this movie's ooh.
It was a pretty good ensemble, I think, because what we have is a set of three couples, one with a child, if you can call him that, the great Peter Bark. And they get invited by Professor Ayers, and I guess he was on the verge of this grand discovery, and he wanted to share it with his, I guess, their colleagues,
Yeah.
or I don't, so
I think Mark and the other two, Mark
I'll
and
be
George.
honest. This is the first time I've seen this film. It's a
Same
first watch for
first watch.
me, so I'm not too familiar with the ins and outs. But I'm assuming that mansion belongs to one of our main protagonists. So we got one set. We got George, Evelyn, and Michael. Right, that's one fam. So I got the sense that they know everything about this mansion, even like the butler, the maid, like the way they went in there and started giving orders. I told the guy park the cars, and they knew. To me, it felt like it was it was in family somehow. Maybe the professor maybe was staying there to do his research. I'm not sure. So I'm not gonna be the most knowledgeable. I'm not gonna pretend to, because again, it's a first watch. I didn't really do a lot of research on this film, unfortunately, because I want to go in raw and fresh, and I want this review to be raw and fresh. And
Well, they
it's not
could have
even a
all
review.
worked together though. They could have actually. You
Yes,
might
they're
be right because
colleagues. Maybe they're right. Yeah.
they probably have all been there.
hmm
I
They
typed it
have,
this way.
because they mentioned the last time they were there, it was 6 months.
Yeah.
Because
So
one of the female characters said, "Oh, I feel like it's been over a year," and they said, "Oh, it's been about 6 months, give or take." So they've been there before.
yeah,
So they know the area. They know all of the nooks and crannies of this place.
and the staff, which
So
is why they
yeah,
treated them like they've been there before.
yeah, exactly, yeah, exactly. And I like that. I like they're just not teenagers. They're older. They're an older group, which is different. And again, they're
Uh,
couples. They're all couples. So
this was the horniest group of guests ever. I mean,
come on,
they
man.
wasted
Wouldn't
no
you?
time. I know, but they all just got there. Like as I'm watching, I'm like, you guys literally all just got here.
Leslie found the trunk with someone else's clothes in there and decided, "Oh, let me put this lingerie on for my husband."
Yeah, and you do that little dance, and then
With the porn
you know
stars. Who was that guy?
Michael shows up. And this Michael kid, is that a kid?
Well, all right.
Is
The
it really a kid? Because
in
I mean, he
in
looked like
in
he's 19 or
canon, no,
20.
in canon, it's a kid, but the actor is he's an adult dwarf. So
Is that what it was? All right,
yeah, well,
because
I
I
don't.
was
I
like,
think they didn't want a child to be sucking on some titties, So they probably casted an adult in that role. So that's why he looked older. But what a weird and quirky
Yeah.
character he was. When they first showed up, the big pushing and he's sleeping, his eyes pop open. It's like, what the fuck? When I first saw this, I'm like, okay, he's nefarious. He's up to something. But no, all he wanted was to fucking have sex with his own mother. That's normal, I guess, right?
No, it's not. I mean, like, yeah, and it's funny because when he walks in on them and she gets up out of the bed, she like reaches over to cover herself, and then when they go back to the camera, she's just covering her stuff,
standing there
with her boobs out, and I'm like, literally, you're showing your son the boobs, like. Yeah, it was a very interesting.
Her sweater kittens were breathing.
I guess. I mean, but I was like, this is kind
the
of
fun bags were
thing.
out, son.
When Professor had gone into the catacombs, and because I'm assuming it was some spell or he figured something out that rose the dead.
Supernatural. So we're dealing with a supernatural outbreak of the zombie virus, because it wasn't something that happened naturally. Yeah, you can tell there was a lot of like spells and incantations at
that was
hand
involved
here.
Yeah. So now they're all coming up, and even during that time, like I'm sitting here, the editing. I got to point this out before did you notice the scene where Janet was running, right? And then she gets caught in the trap. And then you see Mark trying to pry it open. And then it goes back to him standing there and she's going, I've been caught in a trap. And I'm like, what the? Literally just
it's
saw.
It's not in my notes, but I was going to write that. I caught that immediately. You know, I catch that shit. I like, woo, okay.
That's when I realized the kind of movie we're
edited. You're gonna get two things: really bad ADR, and we're gonna get really bad camera cuts, or not even camera cuts. I think the camera work was really good in this movie, but it's the post production edits. They let some stuff slip by, and then whatever. No one's gonna notice.
that was like I'm like sitting there going, okay, now I know what we're in for.
What year is this again? What year is it? 80?
1981.
81, it's early 80s.
Yeah, 1981. So it probably was filmed at 79, maybe early part of 80. Yeah. But it's funny because I guess we're still, towards the 70s. You saw in zombie movies that people just allowed the zombies to slowly walk to them. Literally, everybody was just, there was no people, putting up a fight. You finally had what was it, George, or the one guy that started shooting, and he goes, George, he goes, you got to blow their heads off, and everyone's
no, that's not George. George was the father, that Michael's father. That was, or I don't know if it's that or not, but George was married to Evelyn. Let's just say he's the one. He was popping off shots, but
and
once he ran out of bullets.
And the way Evelyn was handing the bullets, she's like, here you go.
No, that's a different character.
Oh, or either way,
the way she was handing it.
No,
that was Leslie's husband with the long rifle. I'm talking about George when he's with his wife and son, and the first undead walk in. He's got the gun because remember she was teaching him how to shoot.
Yeah, but he wasn't shooting at the head. He was shooting at everywhere.
No, he didn't know.
Yeah. But that's the thing. Somebody figured out about the head and not tell anybody else. Just shoot off the head. Like, this is like how stupid some of these people were. And then I thought it was funny that the zombies start picking up weapons.
I love that though. Oh,
and then I saw a scythe, and I'm like, who the fuck has got a scythe? I'm like, it's 1980. I guess 1980 scythes were still around.
And they knew well ahead to go for the head. That's when they killed the maid. The maid. The best part about it, Joe. How can you? I know we're jumping around, but you brought it up. The Skype scene right before she was trapped and on the windowsill on the ledge because one of the zombies had a fucking dagger, and like all of a sudden he became fucking Bullseye. She was stuck. I never seen a zombie throw a dagger with such precision, bro. And then when she's stuck, that one zombie with a long fucking scythe angles it perfectly and just cuts her head off. And I never seen this before. The head plops down, and the zombies pick up the head and start eating.
Eating. Yeah.
Oh, that was cool. One thing I will say, Joe, before we move on to whatever you're gonna get into, the visceral carnage of the zombies eating in this movie,
That's
to me,
what we're talking
top tier,
about.
top
Yeah.
tier, man.
Yeah,
They
I
didn't
mean,
shy
like,
away from it.
no, it was very vibrant. It was very red, and I swear that all those entrails looked like they were real, like they might have gotten from animals. So that way, but
Can I say something about that?
uh,
This reminded me of you because when I put this movie on, where did you watch it on Tubi?
Tubi.
Right? Was it in English or was it Italian?
English.
But did you switch it to Italian?
No.
Oh, okay. All right. When I popped the movie in, right? Because I purchased. Oh, wait a minute. I purchased the 4K version, right?
Oh,
This looked gorgeous, by the way, and the ADR was so horrendous that, oh my god, it was terrible. It was comical. I couldn't take it. I was like, wait a minute, let me see if there's like an Italian version here. And I switched it to Italian, bro, and it had these beautiful yellow subtitles that reminded me of Horror Italiano. And I'm like, oh my god, the acting is good now. Because it was their actual actor speaking, and I read it in English. It was night and day quality. It went from a goofy, campy movie to more of a serious schlock fest. You know what I mean? And it would have like sound effects would be, added in the bottom of the screen. And then when the zombies were ripping up fucking one of the characters and they started pulling out his fucking guts, I shit you not, one of the sound bites was entrails squealing. Oh, innards squishing, like innards, entrails.
Joe. I have to check if I can do that with some of the and.
Oh, I always do, bro. It was so bad. It's the bad lip, the lip syncing was terrible. Everything it took me out. But once I switched it, a completely different movie, dude, bro. I recommend watching it like that.
Well, we'll have to do that. Well, actually, we're getting close to the end of the season. Have to remember that for other movies.
Yeah.
Once all the zombies started coming up, they literally everything got even more bonkers than it already was with this cast, and it did just drive me a little nuts that they just didn't fight enough. Like I thought, honestly, when Leslie she got caught through the glass, that we were gonna get another eye,
Lucio Fulci special.
And that didn't happen, but it was still another one. Like, it's dead. Like, are you truly telling me you can't fight this thing that's got your hair? Like, let it yank your hair off so it doesn't put you through this glass and kill you. It was just, but again, it's the 80s, so characters were written a little bit more differently. They didn't fight, I guess. It was one of those things that when it came as far as a zombie movie that we're used to, in almost all the other ones, including the ones we've done here in Horror Italian and the one we've done in Brains and Brews, people fought a little bit more. I found this was like one of those movies that people just allow themselves to get killed by these zombies.
Slow plotting zombies, by the way, bro.
Very slow.
Drove me nuts. My only negative in this movie is some of these scenes were drawn out so much because the actors, the zombies, everything was at a fucking snail's pace, bro. It drove me nuts. Especially on my second watch, I'm like, oh my god, why is this pacing during this action scene so slow? It drove me nuts. That's my only bad negative critique.
Well, and they even said that they can't move fast and still couldn't. It's
and
like
they must have been pretty strong because when they put their hands around your fucking neck, mind you, I hate when movies do this. The zombies walking like this, look. Dude, I hate that. It was in Dawn of the Dead. There was one zombie when they were in the mall and he was chasing one of the cars and he's walking like this. That's like the Superman walk. That's what they call it. Walking like Superman, like he's flying. Like, I hate that. They did it only once there. And here it was all over the place. Especially the POV shots with the hands. And they're walking so slow. And like you said, the actors, then he lets him fucking put his hands around his fucking throat. Come on, brother. Come on.
And when they grab the one, he gets picked up and put on the table. I'm like, you still seriously can't fight this off?
Yeah.
And then we just see that they then tear into him.
That's
But
the guy
yeah,
with the mustache, that sleazy porn stash.
it was. I will say though, the way that they did the zombies eating, top tier.
There was one scene in particular with the professor when he comes back as an undead. I love how he kills the Nicholas was, I think, the butler. He throws him on the ground and he bites him. He rips his neck and you see the skin. It just snaps and he's biting him. And the blood squirting. He dies. And I love how he has a weapon, some knife, and he cuts. They don't show it, but it's implied because the next cut after when it comes back, the knife is on the side, and he's already he has his hands. This is one of the scenes where it says like the entrails squishing.
Yes.
So he pulls the entrails and he's eating it, right. And the best part about it, when he's eating it, and you see him like chewing on it and just like ripping into him. And then another character comes by and sees him, and and you see the fucking professor looks up. Wow, he's got this fucking his gut like this long intestines, like entrails, fucking like just kind of getting pulled and pushed, and like almost like he's really biting a fucking tough leathery fucking piece of sausage,
It looked real.
And then he looks at the actor while he's still eating. He's not even bothered going after the actor. I love that. I hate it in zombie movies when they're eating and they see a live guy and they get up to go out. Bro, you got a whole meal that's dead in front. What are you doing? So I like that in this movie, and it happened multiple times. He's eating, right? And then when the character walks away, he grabs the professional, the zombie, goes in and he reaches in and he pulls out the guy's liver, right? And then the next scene, when it cuts back to that same scene, because it cuts back to our heroes for momentarily, and now the next scene is him eating the liver. And like I never seen he's like he couldn't be bothered with anyone else. He was just going in on the fucking like intestinal tract, the liver, who knows, a gallbladder, what else he found in there. Oh man, so cool.
Now that you say that, because that makes me think of another scene in the movie. So, first of all, I thought it was weird that Michael got all turned on watching the zombies and all this fighting going on, that he started to kiss his mom and touch her breast. This movie was very weird on that part. Like
he was in love with his mother, bro.
I guess it was just I don't know, it was icky. But she slaps him and he runs off, and then he runs into Leslie.
Yeah.
And then they don't show it on screen, but Leslie kills him. So when Evelyn walks in, there's Leslie. I don't know if it was his arm, his leg. It was basically.
I think it was his leg. Yeah.
And she's like,
no, it was his arm, because he was walking it later.
All right. So she's like all eating. So Evelyn picks him up and she's crying and screaming. Meanwhile, Leslie's.
I like that.
But the thing is, like, she looks up, like, she's like, this is so tasty.
Yeah, she got her eyes wide open. She's like,
yes. She wasn't even bothered with what was going on.
I love that little detail.
Yes, I did too, because it showed that their need to feed. Mm-hmm. Like, instead of her attacking Evelyn, she didn't attack. She had the food. Evelyn killed her only because she was concentrating on eating.
She was mad.
Well, no, but I'm saying,
yes. She let herself get killed.
She left because she was only focused on eating. She didn't
great
fight
kill
her.
Scene, by the way.
Oh yeah, it was pretty cool.
Oh, that was rough. I loved it.
Michael becomes a zombie. These people leave this mansion and come upon a monastery where all the monks are fucking zombies. So then, again, here's the weird part in this.
I know what you're talking about.
So were all these monks buried, around there, and then some came back from the dead and killed some of the other monks there, or was this place empty and all the monks that used to live in that monastery rose? Or can the spell turn you into a zombie? Because I thought it was weird that all the monks were zombies.
Yeah, well, the monks were probably long gone. They were probably buried within the tombs. Remember, they had all the sarcophagus. There was plenty of those laying everywhere. So I'm assuming they were buried within that temple and that monastery. And then as seen in previous scenes when we seen them coming out of the coffins, the sarcophaguses, that you seen them like pushing them open and like and rising above. I think that's, to me, that's what, because if you look at them, they were not fresh zombies. They were still like decayed and fucked up. It wasn't like, the nice thing about it, because there were other zombies that were fresher. They had intact eyeballs and facial features, and there was some that were completely skeletal or have one eyeball hanging down or both eyeballs. And one thing I will say, Joe, the makeup in this, even though they were fucking masks for the most part, I think the variety of,
Yeah,
I've never seen a film with a variety of zombies. There were some ugly motherfuckers in this fucking movie, bro. I mean,
like dead for a long, long time.
they will make like a leathery mask, right? And all it was is, all right, throw dirt and live maggots, and that's your fucking zombie. And the maggots themselves. There was one zombie when he had the character. I forget, the only character I forgot his name, with the mustache. He's choking him out, right? And he's got this fucking worm, like 3 worms dangling off his fucking eyeball. Like, oh my god, he's gonna swallow the worm, he's gonna fall in his mouth. And no, that didn't happen. But I love the variety of these. It was raw, visceral, like I said, and the gore was really good. Now, talk to me. You brought him up. What did you think about the zombies in this movie? Did you like the fact that, yeah, most of them were masked, but they were all pretty unique, and some were really, really ugly, man, scary. What do you think?
I mean, honestly, like, I thought for a 1981 movie that the effects, yes, I'm gonna go with, I only really spotted 2 masks. The other stuff I thought looked a little bit more like makeup work. Like, so the special effects works. I did this one on the first watch, so I'll look at it again. And you can tell, though, it's the one that, has the little snaggle teeth. You can tell it's the mask because
here's a tidbit for you. I know you don't really look at the production like I do. The reason why I know they were all masks, and you just mentioned it now, there was no articulation. The mouths never opened and closed. They were always, look at if you look at the teeth, the mouths never opened. Never.
No.
And I mean, the ones that did open didn't have the gnarly fucking teeth because they
did really good
to eat. But what I mean is, yes, for having a movie I'm assuming the budget wasn't great. I think for wearing a mask, I think they look great because they were very memorable. They were, each and every one of them was a character, and at least their hands were done up. You didn't really see any of them were like, all of a sudden this got all makeup and they got the human hands.
You can see the one figure that looks like pretty much normal. Just
they ran out of time. They couldn't make up their hands, so whatever. It wasn't anything like that. You could tell the reason why they were all in robes and shit like that, because they didn't have to come up and do full. All they needed was a mask and the arms. That was it. So I thought for what it was, it looked great and it was memorable because, once again, if you look at the cover here, this is what they look like for the most part. And the reason why
major one that you can see it's the mask. That one is the mask.
There you go. And then when they do open, it's a little rubbery, but the teeth, or I could tell, but I think it looked really good. If you could find this, really good copy. It's got the 4K and the standard Blu-ray up in that 2-disc collection. I just got it, and I'm very happy with my purchase because I think this movie, aside from the slow plotting parts, it was a blast.
It was. What did I say to you after I finished? Actually, hold on.
The first thing you said. Do
you remember?
Yeah, it was bonkers.
All right. Yeah, I was like sitting there like, what the fuck did I just watch? Like, in a good way. It wasn't like I was like, oh, I'm gonna shit all over this. It was, because you have fucking Evelyn, who, by the way, had been told about shooting. She knew. Wait, you said Evelyn didn't know that, or was it Leslie?
No, Evelyn was being. Her husband George was teaching her how to. No, so Evelyn was handing over the bullets to the guy with the mustache. So
Evelyn already knew all this when they're all being surrounded, and she never told any of them that. And then when she sees her zombie son Michael come to her, I'm not gonna about to do it, but she decides to open up his shirt and give her boob.
Yeah, because he wanted that earlier in the film. She was probably like, "Oh my god, he's alive! He came back. Okay, you know what? Okay, you know what? You can have whatever you want. Here, you want my titty? Here, boop.
And then fights her. And by the way, that's
but he
how
was
she
sucking on it
died.
first, though.
Yeah, and that's how she died. She literally died because she got her boob bit off.
Yeah, and Michael died because he was too busy eating that boob.
It was a very. I will say, like I said, the and not just the makeup work, the goriness, the stuff that you looked at, that shit looked real sometimes.
Yeah,
like
it
I
did,
was like,
it did, because
I'm
it was
like, I
so
don't-
raw.
whatever they used, whatever it was, like I questioned, did they go get like animal parts so that way on some things these people were actually touching
I'm
animal?
glad you brought that up. Yes, because
Oh.
in other zombie movies, when you would shoot a zombie, especially in this state, blood would splatter this and that. But these motherfuckers been dead for a long time, and I loved that when they were shot or impaled, like this weird green mucus type shit. Instead of blood, it was this weird.
Yeah.
Now, when Leslie was killed as a zombie, she had blood because she's fresh. So there was a, they did differentiate between the two, which very subtle. I like that. But what I really liked about this movie was the way it was shot, it made you feel like disoriented. Like the sound was real scratchy and the music was really cool and a lot of eerie sound bites, like boop, 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 a lot of weird shit like that. It just transported you. Especially if you watched it high, it transports you. It transports you to this unearthly world, bro, where the living feast or being feasted on by the dead. Like, it's such a surreal movie. It's a fever dream of a film because of the way it is shot. It's sloppy. It's not the most like technically sound film, but I think those flaws are it's a benefit to the film. It's their strengths, in my opinion.
Yeah, I did a whole bunch of things before I started watching it, and said, I don't know, something tells me that I need to have a couple beers, maybe a shot or two, and a couple bowls before I watch the movie. Just when I felt perfect, I said, watching the movie, and then I sat there like, the fuck? This is fucking what? And then I messaged you. I'm like, have you seen this before? And you're like, nope, it's gonna be a first watch. I'm like, God damn it, I can't say anything right now.
Well, we were watching it at the same time because when you hit me up, I was like, you asked me if I seen it. I said no, watching it now. That's what I said.
You were watching at the same time?
Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
Well,
we were watching at the same time.
and it was like I said, it's one of the reasons I'm glad we do this show. And I think that this was another one that unless you knew it, I think when it was, because again, our list was just compromised on. Actually, did you pick this one?
Yeah, I put this on.
Oh,
my list.
this was
Only because from word of mouth and through reading Fango and all those other horror mags throughout the year, this movie always came up as a notorious film. And I never got to see it. Yeah, dude, because this movie it's a lot of fun. Like when you got dialogue, like when again, it was I think it was Mark and the blonde. What's the blonde? What's her name? The photographer Mark.
Janet.
But Janet, yeah.
Janet.
I
Damn
think
it,
it was
Janet.
when they first saw the zombie coming out of they were making out and the zombie grabbed the guy's leg, remember?
Yeah.
And this guy's like, she's like, what is that? He's like, it's a monster. And then he's like, it's a walking corpse. Like the dialogue is so fucking good in this.
Well,
but hold on, what I'm trying to get at, like between that dialogue and I loved the fact that the zombies were filmed in the daylight and the sun. You could feel like the colors were kind of washed because it's out in the sun. And we don't really get that a lot. And especially when you see the zombies earlier on in the film, when they started to wake up and walk, there was no weird music, no weird sound. It just transitioned to another scene, like if it's humans just walking around doing their thing. Yeah. But no, this is them. All right, they're getting up and they're shambling towards their victims. But I love when they're in the fields and they're walking and they're like, the way they're kind of like shambling. And they're, you could tell when they walk, they don't just move their heads. They kind of turn like this, they turn around like the whole bodies. And I love how they're in like behind trees, so you got the branches in the foreground to add dimension to them. Like really good stuff,
especially coming out of nowhere. Like when they start seeing them, like they're all start coming out. Like you can see that they blend in because they're actually, their colors would match basically like force and stuff.
And I love that they were killers. They had axes, fucking scythes. They had a fucking battering ram at one point.
Well, and that's like they got a battering ram, and that's when they were like, dude, they move slow. We should just let them in.
That's a smart move, by the way.
We could probably outrun them.
Yeah.
No, we're gonna allow you to take us slowly. Like,
dude, they won.
Oh,
they were hiding. They let them in, and they were leaving. And all of a sudden, like Evelyn fucked it up because she walks up there. Like wait, what happened?
And I knew you were gonna. You just finished saying the one thing I knew you were gonna appreciate about this is the zombies won.
Yeah,
no, because nobody survived.
Last thing I will say, yes, you're right. Thank you. I think the freeze frame ending works because it's not overly done even to this day. I think the other movie we discussed this was the Argento film we just covered not too long ago. Was it Four Flies on Grey Velvet? Was it when it is? No. Yeah, that's the one. Yes, that's the one. When the lady crashes and she gets decapitated and the car explodes and it just freeze frames and the credits roll. Here, I'm thinking to myself, bro, how they gonna get out? The zombies are right on top of them. All of a sudden, you see all the hands covering that looked like a comic book panel. I remember a Daredevil book from the 80s that I had come across upon growing up reading, and it was just Daredevil like this, and he had these zombie hands just grabbing and ripping his costume. He's bloody. He's all fucked up. That cover stayed in my mind to this day. And when I saw this and I saw the zombie hands, like, what? Then it's just freeze frames. I'm like, they won. Okay, you know what? Normally the freeze frame's a gimmick, but again, the reason why it works is because it's not overly done. They don't do it often in Hollywood, and it's not easy to pull off. That's why. But I think here it works. Dude, thanks for bringing that up. I forgot about that.
I was like, fucking Ricky's gonna love it.
I love it. It fits the tone. It fits the tone of the film. It was raw, kinetic, and it was there's no rules. You don't have to be like, there was like, okay, because you're this or that, you gotta survive, or if you do this, you gotta be a hero, or the zombies gotta lose. No, how will they defeat all these zombies? No, it's real. This professor guy somehow, he was in the muck and he was deep within the weeds, and he released this curse somehow. We didn't get all that though. Let me ask you before we finish. He had the little slab. Because when he saw the slab, it had a little iconography, like kind of imprinted onto it. And he was like, incredible, incredible. Then he goes back and he tries to break the piece some more. That's when he turns around. That one zombie just right there. The guy's like, and like you said, Joe, instead of being like, motherfucker, he's backing up. He's like, Then the zombie's right here and he's still like doing this. And all of a sudden, when he turns around, the other zombie grabs him and bites him. He's like, oh, man. But anyway.
As you said, they went with the like overly shambler.
Yeah.
And because it was overly shambler, it made that's a little bit more ridiculous because like you felt like you could have
avoided it.
The whole thing. Just run. Honestly, just fucking run. Don't engage. It's like, oh, they're showing like basically like in a video game. You just run through the horde of them.
That's what makes Dawn of the Dead 78 so fucking great, is because not only are protagonists smart, they've figured out they're slow and they could just get in and out of places. They don't got to worry about one or two. They're kind of, and they beat the fuck out of these zombies. But here, you're right. They know they're so like, and they just let themselves get overwhelmed by this fucking shit.
Honestly,
they move so slow, and then. By the way, whenever they crack the zombies' heads and their skulls, I love the little. It sounded like a car accident.
And you got the dust. There's nothing in there. Then you got dust, little pieces, fragments. All. I mean, literally, that's what they were fighting.
You could just fucking smell the asbestos coming out of those fucking skulls, dude. I loved it. Good shit, dude.
Yeah, I know. Thanks for putting it on. I'm glad I did it. And. Well, next up on our tour, it's the final stop for this season. And it's going to be a doozy. It's Ruggero Deodato's controversial cannibal holocaust. I have been waiting to get Ricky to see this. I know he's not a fan. But thanks to Cannibal Pharaoh, which hopefully you already saw.
That was a mistake, though. I didn't know that was.
Since that, it means it's gonna make him appreciate Cannibal Holocaust just a little bit more.
I'm breaking
Because
my
Cannibal
rule for you,
Holocaust,
Joe.
I know you are, but Cannibal Holocaust is also a found footage film. JR
Mhm.
never did that one. So, but that is going to be the last stop on the tour for this season. Make sure to hit subscribe, hit follow. Follow us on our socials for our updates for future episodes. Thank you for watching, and make sure to support Italian horror cinema.